Virgo, I'm Eleanor, and welcome to Peaches by Starlight Tarot. This is your weekly pick a card reading. This is for the 3rd week of May, and I'll be doing one more for the 4th week of May, but after that, starting in June, I'm going down to monthly only. And it'll be a week by week, and it will still involve your monthly theme that came out in your annual, but it won't be a pick a card. It's just going to be longer. It's going to be more in depth. And you'll be able to, you can go back to the video and refer to it week by week to see how it's playing out and to see what the next week holds, because it'll be time stamped and everything. But there will just be one video for your sign per month. So like, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff if you want to keep up with that and find out when that comes out. This is a general reading for the collective. So if you would like a private reading more tailored to what's going on with you, I have an Etsy page where I offer email readings, and that's linked below. So the energy this week, this 4 of Wands is your monthly energy, so it's talking about leveling up in your connections and creating stability, happy home life, celebration, family, all that good stuff. And this week is talking about your heart chakra, so it's going to be talking about creating more stability, leveling up, increasing your well-being in your heart center, and processing out any grief, unprocessed grief that may be blocking your heart from expanding and opening up and keeping you closed down. So I am using Flower Spirit and Tarot of the Magical Forest. I stack 1, 2, and 3. They're timestamped below, so you can skip to the one or more than one that you feel like is meant for you. And let's get started with stack 1. You have the 4 of Swords, the Hanged Man, and this is Crane's Bill. And it says, oh, there's the flower right there. It says, I allow my heart to expand with love. Well, that goes perfectly with your heart chakra, your heart center. Beautiful. So, all right. Hangman and 4 of Swords, right? That pretty much means there is no action required on your part at all this week. You are meant to take on the role of the observer. Allow this is going to be talking about relaxing, unclenching, doing whatever it is that you need to release tension. There's a reference in the guidebook from this card about music and listening to music that expands your heart and opens your heart and gives you that's expansive. A song that does it for me is Indian Summer by Jay Wolf. Anyway, so it's going to be talking about begin small, start with connecting to the love that's closest to you, your most immediate loved ones. And and then from there, start to expand that circle outward. And little by little, let that stretch your heart open. But you have to it's almost like a yoga pose, I feel like, that you're not so much forcing and pushing a stretch, but you're allowing and relaxing into a stretch and being patient and letting your body give in to the stretch. So that's kind of what's happening with your heart. You're not wrenching it open. You're not pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. This is going to be talking about relaxing the muscle that is your heart and allowing it to expand and to allow love in and to come in to go freely. Easy, right? Stack 2. You have the King of Cups reversed, 7 of Swords. This is Luke Hojum. There it is. It says, I stay in the present by keeping my energy field clear. Okay. Is it in frame? Yes, okay. The 7 of Swords in this context feels like something that's left over that needs healing from a past wound. Like, in Iron Man, the beginning or actually not just the beginning, the whole thing, the shrapnel. He is in that accident at the very beginning of the series, and there's like shrapnel left over in his body, and so he has that electromagnet that keeps it from piercing his heart, but it is still there. It's like this thing he always kind of lives in fear of, except for that magnet that keeps it from stabbing in his heart and killing him. So it feels like shrapnel, leftover shrapnel from a past wound. And so that is where, this King of Cups in reverse, that's that electromagnet. That is bypassing your feelings. That's coldness, that's stoicism, that's shut down. That's avoiding facing that bit of pain. It's pushing it away. It's the closing of the heart. It's a boundary and a blockage in that kind of shield around the heart. Avoiding feeling feelings, avoiding facing that. So there's avoidance. And so this flower, leucojum, is bringing a message of clearing the past. Of, like at the end of the third one, I guess it's a spoiler, but he finally has surgery and they remove that shrapnel so he can be whole again and take that magnet out. And so this is talking about taking that out. Facing that feeling, facing that fear, so you can experience the present. So what is that's left in your heart? What are these spikes? What is the shrapnel that you have to look at, that you've been avoiding and closing your eyes to and trying so hard not to feel? That unprocessed grief. I think I said that before at the very start of this, that unprocessed grief is blocking your heart, that your heart is protected from allowing that pain in, but it's preventing the love to get in as well, and it's keeping your heart small, and it's keeping the pain out, but it's keeping everything out. And so, yes, it will hurt. Facing your shit hurts. But when it's done and when it's cleared, this is talking about clearing, keeping your energy field clear. Then you're free of it once and for all. It's a bump, it's a hurdle, it's a thing you have to face. But on the other side of it is this heart expansion, is a clear fourth chakra. Yeah, fourth one. So, there you go. Alright, stack 3. You have the Chariot in reverse. 5 of Swords in reverse. This is allium. I act, think, and feel as a part of the whole. All right. The allium, that's a message about seeing yourself as an integral and inseparable part of the whole, like the universe, not of like humanity and people. There's a meme I just saw about a guy in a boat or on a ship. It's like a type where you have individual rooms, and he drills a hole at the bottom on the floor of his room, and it starts to allow water. Water is leaking into his room, and everyone else gets pissed off. Like, what are you doing? We're all gonna sink. We're all gonna die. And he's like, it's my room. I can do what I want. And that isn't actually. Now that I say that, that's an attitude I'm starting to see, and maybe that's why the meme was shared, probably because there's a sense that what we do doesn't affect others, that we can make whatever choices we want, and we're somehow an island, we're somehow insulated, that our choices don't have far-reaching effects, that our choices don't leave our bubble or our room, and that no one can else be affected by what we choose. And this is a message here. This allium is like, we are all... It's like in that boat, that guy's choice to drill a hole in his room, it affects everyone on that boat. It's not just about what's in his room, because that room is part of the whole boat. So you're not an island, and everything that you do impacts those around you, whether indirectly or far-reaching. And so, but there's a sense here with the Chariot in reverse, 5 of Swords reversed, there's a paralysis. The Chariot in reverse, there's like a not moving forward, like a holding back, like a being stuck and not able to move. that paralysis it feels like in the good place where they learn that no matter what they do, no matter how hard you try to be a good person, something you do is going to affect something, is going to have a negative impact some way or some other. Like there's no product you can buy that doesn't exploit something or someone or deplete some resource, or it's like, that's this Five of Swords. It's like this Pyrrhic victory. There's no, you make a choice that feels good, but somehow it's going to have a negative impact. And there's like this kind of like stuck, like I don't know, nothing I do isn't going to hurt someone. So you become like cheaty and just like, you become frozen and don't know how to move forward. Or it reminds me of like a nature show I was watching where they're following the polar bear, right? He's starving, he's getting skinny, and he's looking for food, and then it comes across a baby seal that the mother has kind of like hidden in the, like dug a ditch into the ice and covered it up, and it's got a little escape hatch into the ocean. So the polar bear comes across it, it sniffs it, it realizes there's a seal in there, and starts pounding at the ice trying to get to it. And you start to panic, you're like, oh my god, it's going to eat the cute little seal. Oh no, 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 let the seal get away. The seal escapes through its little escape hatch into the sea. The polar bear doesn't get the seal, and at first you're like, oh yes. But then they pan back up to the polar bear, and it looks at its little baby. And you realize, what's that polar bear going to feed its baby? That polar bear is facing starvation. And you're like, god damn, I don't know who to root for. It's like, ugh. That's one of those tough things that doesn't really have an answer. And it's not up to you to find the answer for everyone, or to find the answer, because there just isn't one. You have to figure out how to turn this chariot upright for yourself. How do you move forward? You can't be stuck. You can't be paralyzed. So how do you move forward with this knowledge that your choices affect everyone? And make the best choices that you can, that take care of yourself in the best way, while being mindful that they affect others. There is a way forward, and there is an acceptance, but it's not so much about finding that perfect answer, finding that way to act that does no harm, because it isn't possible, but it's at the same time recognizing that there are choices that are more selfish than others, and to recognize your place in the whole, and to be mindful that your choices have far-reaching actions, and to just not become you're not a bad person, and you don't have to change your life completely, but just take off this sense of isolation, and that you're an island, and that you're your own, and that nothing you do affects anyone else, and come back to that feeling of being connected, of not being alone, of being part of a community, of being part of a whole, of being part of mankind. Yeah, that's your message, Virgo. Okay, I'll talk to you in a week. Thank you.